So we're going to end this episode by talking about RFK, who, and you know which RFK I'm talking about.
I would talk like that, too, if my whole family died in the snap of a finger.
Yeah, with RFK, who will die in some sort of tragedy, as per the Kennedy curse.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's the final destination in politics, really.
For Kennedys, they just die in tragedies. Something bad's going to happen. He'll either die in a tragedy or he'll kill a woman with a car. Right? Didn't Ted Kennedy kill a woman in a car? They all die tragically.
It's one of the two. There's a parlay on FanDuel for it.
Yeah. Hillary Clinton does have there's a weird connection to a lot of people dying around her, though. It is very Putin-esque in a way. Yeah. Anyway, so this is RFK. He became an internet hero. He was the new Andrew Yang, but for libertarians. Everything's become very college freshman, liberal arts. That's what I've noticed. Because when you go to college and you're a freshman and you go to like a
I know, I was there 3 weeks ago.
I mean? Everyone's like, you was not along. Everyone's like fucking certain. Everyone's certain about shit. Everyone's fucking certain, conspiratorial, big ideas. You feel cool. You feel like you know everything. Certainty and conspiracy are big.
Yeah,
I think in a freshman dorm room. That's also when you get introduced to Ayn Rand for the first time, and you're like, fucking reason, fucking pure, fucking heroes, fucking. You get introduced to communism for the first time. You're like, the fucking system. You heard about Vietnam, and you're like, we're fucking evil.
And you're doing all this with a Batman poster on your wall.
Yeah, you're like, we're evil, and then you're like, all right, yeah, it was bad, but also communism's also bad. It's a lot of bad. Yeah, Henry Kissinger's bad. This was bad, bad, bad. The military-industrial complex is bad, but it was also good in World War II. It was good that we were good at making weapons. It was good. So the adult world is full of trade-offs, as the great Thomas Sowell said. But now everyone's certain in issuing edicts. So here comes RFK onto the scene, and he becomes a fucking internet hero quick. He came quick. Now the problem is people elevate. Like the elevation happens, right? It's like this cult-like elevation where they turn a guy into like David Koresh. They're like, this is Jesus. And he said something negative about Ukraine. He said something negative about the vaccine. And so now you're locked into that, okay? Now you're locked in. Don't you dare. That's when you need an advisor. That's when RFK needed an advisor to go, hey, listen. Now you're not a full person anymore. You represent, you're a figure that represents what these people believe. You're not a full person anymore. You're a symbol. You're an anti-vax symbol. You're an anti-money to Ukraine symbol. Stick to that. Don't you dare get out of that box, because don't think for 1 second anyone who's not on the internet even knows you're running for president. Okay, this is an internet thing. It's on Twitter. It's on podcasts. We're talking Dave Rubin. We're talking Jordan Peterson. We're talking fucking the Dark Knights, the Dark Horses. You're talking podcast, baby.
It's a Super Bowl commercial.
You're in the podcast, baby. You are fucking in the bowels of communication. You're in it. You're fucking in it. All right? Don't you dare say anything nuanced on Ukraine. So he gives the speech. He does not have that advisor who warns him not to say anything nuanced about Ukraine. He seems to lack awareness about who his fan base is. And he, like other examples in the past, says something that doesn't toe the line of the fucking hardliners who support him, which is really the only support he has, is hardliners. Because everybody else just doesn't know what's happening, right? And he's not a viable candidate. I mean, this is America. You can't talk like, you can't talk like a scared old granny. You can't talk like Little Red Riding Hood and get elected. You just can't. So you got to be tall,
strapping. Yeah,
you got to be tall,
commanding.
You just got to be tall.
Have a sex scandal.
Yeah, you got to have a sex scandal. You got to be tall. You got to be a reptile.
Be over the age of 80.
You got to be in the elites. You got to be in Skull and Bones. You got whatever it is. You got to be elites. You got to make a deal with the devil. You got a Rothschild. You got to know George Soros. Whatever it is, George Soros has to smear blood on your asshole. There's certain ways you get in. There's other ways you can't. But what disease does he have? He's got spasmodic dysphonia, whatever. It makes his voice weird. I'm sorry to be making fun of that, but he does sound like a scared granny, and I think I'm going to tweet that. He does sound like a frightened granny.
Yeah.
He does sound like a granny trying to negotiate with someone who just broke into her house. There's some fentanyl addict who just came in through the window of the living room, and she's going, there's no money in here. So he does his speech, and he says, I believe we're in Ukraine because we're good people. You want to take a listen to it? Let's take a peek at it. I sent it to you. So this is the part, and people who supported him got very upset, and they said, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
I loved you, and now I'm done with you. And then other people were going, no, it was edited wrong. Look at the full context of what he said. But still the hardliners are going, no, he still said that his son was in Ukraine. He's proud of his son who was a gunner. And also, we're in Ukraine because we're primarily good people, and the Ukrainian people are being brutalized. And for some reason, that made people his supporters, very upset.
That we are in the Ukraine.
Scared granny.
For all the right reasons.
There's no money in my bedroom.
We are there because we are a good people.
Oh.
And, Abraham Lincoln said America is a great nation because we're a good nation. And we continue to be a good people. And we are there because of our compassion for the Ukrainian people who have been brutalized, who have been illegally invaded, and have shown extraordinary valor and courage defending their country and defending
keep going.
Their families and their beliefs and their liberties and their independence. Things that Americans have to admire.
Wait, can you just pause it? Where is he giving this speech? Donnell Rawlings' family reunion?
Yeah, it's real. It's
black back there, yeah. Like, where is that?
It looks like a line for a check cashing place.
Yeah, I mean, what are we talking? Is that at a Tony Rock show?
Yeah, but so far, I agree with white Terrence Howard.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Yeah, he does look like him. Here's the deal. I don't disagree with what he's saying necessarily. I don't know enough, but what he's saying sounds like a very nice thing someone would say.
He's saying all the right things.
It does seem like Putin did invade the country. I don't know if anyone's disputing that. It does seem like the Ukrainians are being brutalized.
Those are the hard facts right there,
Seems like so far it seems like the hard facts. But to his supporters, no, because this is NATO's fault.
Yeah.
So hearing this is our fault. Putin's just a victim. Putin is just an innocent victim who would have he's a dictator, a benign dictator who would have no ambition to expand his borders or threaten us at all. He's just a guy trying to fucking drink vodka and look at chicks and grow. What do they do over there? Sell gas. He just wants to sell gas to Europe and be fucking chill. He's not ambitious at all.
Yeah.
He has remained in power for so long through chicanery and tricky means. He went out of power, put in a puppet, and went back into power. He did all that because he loves service. He loves service. He couldn't get enough. It had nothing to do with his ego or he's power hungry or anything.
Addicted to helping people.
He's a social worker. If he wasn't the dictator of Ukraine, he'd be working for Lutheran Social Services. He's a social worker at a hospital. He's a nun. So that's Putin. He's a good fucking guy and also very smart, tough, and admirable, and whatever else he was called. So here's the rest of this.
On Connor, I'm very, very proud that Connor
People got pissed at
joined
this.
the Foreign Legion and fought in the Ukraine during the Kharkiv offensive as a machine gunner for a special forces group.
So
Why are you drinking that water like it's gonna clear up your voice, motherfucker? You know that shit not gonna do nothing.
So they got pissed because they're like, not only did he say we're a good people, we're there for the right reasons, he said that his son actually was there and shed precious Russian soldier blood, potentially killed some precious Russian Nazi liberators. That's what they were initially there for, I think, to denazify the joint.
Yeah.
So it's basically like his son might have killed some heroes. So this happened, and it set off an alarm. And then there were people who were defending RFK were like, no. This was selectively edited. Watch it in a larger context. I watched in a larger context. Here's the funny part.
First off, you had to turn
Look,
your
not a
volume
lot
on
of
your
people are
phone all
going
the
to
way
get
up.
this because it's the internet, but I'm just right. I mean, what do you want me to do? So I watched the larger context, and he said more reasonable stuff, right? But what the people who were posting watch the larger context don't understand is that you're not going to convince people who are unreasonable. It doesn't matter. He already said his son fought in Ukraine. He already said that we're there because we're good people and they're bad and it was illegally invaded. So it's done. It's done.
Got that out the way.
You just have to understand that that's primarily the people who are supporting. Right here, the tweet from Mr. Ian Miles Chong. I love this kid. He follows me and I follow him. So he's just like a right wing, like media guy, but he's like independent. He just tweets shit all the time. But he's also a gay Asian guy. So he fits the niche. He stands out. Anyway, he goes, oh no, RFK says the United States is involved. So right there, he puts in the tweet like, oh no. Oh no, how dare he? How dare he suggest that we are not the evil one here? Putin is just a defenseless girl walking home at 12 a.m. trying to get to her place. And there's aggressive males there who are trying to stop her. And those males are the NATO, us, and the Ukraine. We're the criminals. And Putin is just a cute little intoxicated college dame trying to get back to her dorm room so she can study. Bad NATO. Shame on us. So that's where we are. RFK, I think, lost his support. And now we're stuck with Mr. Fallsdowns. We're stuck with a guy who likes to tumble.
Yeah.
Here's how he should cover for it. He should say, hey, I've been taking jiu-jitsu. I just want to work on my floor game. It's going to be Joe Biden versus whoever's coming up. If you ask Sean Terry, to be honest with you, it's DeSantis or Trump. I'll take either one.